Let's discuss the 5 transporting points. Hesi point, spleen 9, Yinlingquan, Mound spring. Location, with the knee flex, this point is located in a depression distal to the medial condyle of the tibia, at the junction of the shaft and the medial condyle. How to find? Patient's position preferably located and needle spleen 9 with knee bent and hips slightly externally rotated so that the knee slightly lifts from the surface, or rest the knee in an external rotated position on the knee support. Location, palpate along the posterior border of the medial crest of the tibia towards the head of the tibia to locate spleen 9 in a pressure-sensitive depression at the junction of the shaft and the head of the tibia. This depression is located between the pes anserinus superficialis and the belly of gastrocnemius muscle. Located in the same level but one tune posterior to spleen 9 is liver 7. Located on the lateral aspect of the lower leg is GB34, anterior and inferior to the head of the fibula. Needling 1 to 1.5 June vertically along the posterior border of the tibia. Actions, indications, regulates the spleen, transforms dampness, regulates the water passages, benefits the lower burner. As local point for disorders of the knee, especially if there are swellings. Special features, SC point, water point, one of the major point for eliminating dampness anywhere in the body. Important local point for disorders of the knee. Spleen 9 is located approximately on the same level as GB34. If indicated, this point tends to be very tender upon pressure. Spleen 9 is a major point to resolve dampness from the lower burner. It is very much used in all conditions caused by obstruction of dampness in the lower burner, whether it is damp cold or damp heat. It is therefore used for such symptoms as difficult urination, retention of urine, painful urination, cloudy urine, vaginal discharge, diarrhea with foul-smelling stools, mucus in the stools, and edema of the legs or abdomen. In all these cases, the point should be reduced to eliminate dampness. Spleen 9 is also much used for painful obstruction syndrome of the knee, particularly if there are dampness, in which case the knee is swollen, as it removes obstruction and resolves dampness. Major point to resolve dampness in the lower burner, resolves edema in the lower burner, resolves dampness in urinary problems, painful obstruction syndrome, B syndrome of the knee with swelling. The Hesi point of the three-leg yin channels, all water points share the common property of draining dampness and damp heat from the lower jiao. Liver 8 focuses primarily on the genital region, dominated by the liver channel, and kidney 10 on the urinary system, dominated by the kidney channel. Because of the close relationship between dampness and the spleen, however, spleen 9 is able to treat all disorders of the lower jiao due to accumulation of dampness and damp heat. It is indicated when these pathogens afflict the intestine, diarrhea, and dysenteric disorder, urinary system, difficult urination, retention of urine, painful urinary dysfunction, and genitals, leukorrhea, and pain of the genitals, whether acute and due to exterior pathogens or chronic and internally generated. Despite the tendency of dampness to sink to the lower jiao, it may also affect the other regions of the body. In the middle jiao, spleen 9 is able to treat dampness, which obstructs the free flow of bile or qi and gives rise to jaundice, abdominal distension, fullness below the heart, that is in the epigastrium, and poor appetite. The investigation into points along the channel says there is no pain of the middle and lower regions that cannot be treated with spleen 9. Spleen 9 presents an opportunity to root the person's qi and yin. This can help alleviate perpetual anxiety and quell the restless neediness that seeks attention, support, and nourishment from others. Conversely, it can moisten a crusty exterior that pushes others away while hungering from their emotion and spiritual barrenness to be relieved. It helps the spleen see its own harvest or meet its own needs, so it can adjust its giving or withholding in relation to others to a more reciprocal level. In Yin, Mount Spring Point can bring the refreshing, soothing, restorative properties of water to the spirit. As a Hesi point, it can be used for stomach and intestinal disharmonies, and as a water point, spleen 9 clears down, especially from the lower jiao. Difficult urination, retention of urine, diarrhea, edema of the legs and abdomen. Pirog describes it as a kind of acupunctural diuretic, increases urinary flow as it and is useful in disorders which might be alleviated with increased output of urine. Useful in damp B of the knee where there is accumulation of fluid. Water point, Hesi point, antique autumn point. This water point can be used to regulate the balance of fluid within the earth. It can be effective if the earth has too much water in it and has thus become waterlogged. This presence of excessive damp can not only cause edema of the legs or abdomen, retention of urine, or diarrhea, but can also result in being mentally bogged down or woolly-headed. The patient may crave sympathy or understanding, which can be indicated by the need for others to feel sorry for me. Can be excellent for knee problems along with stomach 35. Tenderness of this point on women may indicate the presence of hormonal problems.